Good morning. It is Saturday morning, 7:30, and our flight is in 1 hour and 10 minutes. And upstairs, Ilke is still sleeping and hasn't started packing yet. And I'm just here trying to stay relaxed. So usually we would just have breakfast at the airport, but because of COVID, I think a lot is closed, so didn't want to risk it. So having some breakfast here, let me show you. Guess what? It's granola. I've added some bee pollen and some raspberries for some extra support during the flight.
Do you know the way to San Jose? I've been away so long, I may go wrong and lose my way. Do you know the way to San Jose? I'm going back to find some peace of mind in San Jose.
We made it!
Put 100 down and buy a car.
Just made a little lunch stop in this beautiful park.
We turned into years, how quick they pass, and all the stuff that never was, are parking cars and pumping gas.
Just got to this hotel. So this will be Ilke's office. And my office will be here. Look at that view. So you can really tell that the hotel just opened because these are their luxury villas, and you can see that the pools, their private pools, they're still empty. And it's so quiet. When we are walking through the public spaces, we need to wear the mask. But look, there's no one.
With a dream in your heart, you're never alone. Dreams turn into dust and blow away. And there you are, without a friend. You pack your car and ride away. I've got lots of friends in San Jose. Do you know the way to San Jose?
It's day 2, we just woke up, and I wanted to tell you a little bit more about what it was like flying yesterday. A disclaimer for this video before I start. First of all, this was our experience going from Amsterdam to Cagliari in Sardinia. I think it can be very different from where you go to where you go. And also, I feel like things keep changing around so much. So by the time you'll see this video, I'm sure things have changed again. So just really do some online research for the latest updates. Let's start with the paperwork. We just bought our flights online, and then the airline sent us one specific form to fill out for Sardinia. It took like 5 minutes to fill out, nothing really health related, just the standard questions about where you're gonna stay, what's your phone number, all those things. And then they send it to us in a PDF in our email. No one asked about it again. When we got to the airport, they made us all go through a central point to kind of save some cost because there aren't as many flights as usual, but it also meant that it was really chaotic. There was a lot of people, so you were very close to people, but everyone was wearing a mask. When we went to the gate, we had to go through another kind of health check from the airline specifically for passengers going to Italy. So they took our temperature, we had to fill out another form. And this time when we got on the plane, they really checked. On the flight, obviously, we had to wear the masks all the time. They used the City Hopper, the smaller plane, so there were only 2 seats on each side of the aisle, so it was just me and my boyfriend, so it didn't feel like I was really close to anyone, which was great. I don't know what it's like if you're flying alone and you're sitting like really close to people that you don't know. And then when we got to Sardegna, to the airport, there were no checks. It was just like regularly arriving at the airport. Everyone did have to check in their hand luggage, so we did have to wait like a little bit for that, but that was fine. And then we rented a car at the airport and we just drove. Then I wanted to talk a little bit about what it's been like in Italy here. So hotels, restaurants, everything kind of opened up again very recently, so it's still really quiet, which is amazing. They are much stricter on the mask and the mask regulation than in my own country, but it feels kind of good. So everywhere indoors, you have to wear the mask until you kind of get to your place. So if you're passing through a restaurant, when you go to your table or when you go to the bathroom, you have to wear the mask. But then as soon as you sit down, you can take it off. So it's actually fine. And then outdoors, no one really wears it. And then staff is wearing masks because they get really close to you. So honestly, I feel like Italy is doing a really good job. We're on the ferry and there's literally no one, which might have to do with the fact that we were a bit slow this morning and it's 12:30, but still. Hiking trail. We are also so not dressed for this. So one of the reasons we picked this hotel is because we already saw on the pictures, it has so many of these like cute little spots that are quite isolated where you can work with this as your view. So this is where I'll be doing some LBO modeling from today. So this is what my Zoom background looks like. I think it's pretty neutral, it looks pretty good.
Stars that never were are parking cars and pumping gas. I got lots of friends in San Jose. Do you know the way to San Jose? Can't wait to get to San Jose.
Holy shit. Bloody hell. So it's been 2 days of working remote and I kind of wanted to take you through what it's been like for us. So what I would say is that you really cannot view it as a vacation. I typically start my days at about 9. I get up at about 7:30, so that gives me just enough time to take a quick swim in the pool, read my book while I'm drying besides the pool, and then really enjoy the lovely breakfast. And then I typically finish at like 8 p.m. so there's only like an hour of daylight left to kind of go to the beach, which is right now. And then maybe I have like a 30-minute break somewhere in the day where I kind of run to the beach and I touch the water and I kind of enjoy it. So for me, honestly, that's enough. It's just so great to have a change of scene, and I really just love looking up from my laptop when I'm working and having like this in the background. But obviously, you have to make the trade-off whether that's worth it for you. I will say it's like, I love it, but it is expensive for like working so much. Flights are still really cheap, but I was hoping accommodation would also be really cheap because of COVID. But honestly, well, I don't know if normally it's even worse, but I really felt like we were paying pretty high prices. That said, I feel like we're getting so much in return for it, and I love being here, so definitely recommend. I think all the reactions we've gotten from the people we work with are really good, and I think it's particularly right now, like everyone is kind of in the same boat with COVID, so I feel like people are really sympathetic. I would say a couple of tips. So there's 3 rules that we have very strictly abided by that I think make this a success. So the first is be on time. I think it's always really important to be on time, but particularly now, you really don't want to give people the idea that you're late because you were like by the pool or whatever. The second is find a good spot and find it timely. It can be pretty difficult to find a good spot. We always make sure that we just have like a white background. As sympathetic as people are with us being here, it would be really tough on them to take a call with this in the background. So definitely try not to shove it in people's faces too much. And then the third is dress appropriately. We've had like one moment where one of us kind of forgot to take their sunglasses out of their shirt, which obviously is also not so professional, particularly if people know that you're working from a space like this. So if you just abide by all those things, I think you show people that you really are professional, that you take it seriously, and that you don't see this as a vacation. I think it can absolutely work.
Yeah, just wandering around.
She got the brown eyes, caramel thighs, long hair, no wedding ring. Hey, I saw you looking from across the way, and now I really wanna know your name. She got the white dress, but when she's wearing less, man, you know that she drives me crazy. The brown eyes, beautiful smile, you know I love watching you do your thing. I love her hips, curves, lips say the words. Te amo mami, I kiss her. This love is like a dream. So join me in this bed that I'm in. Push up on me and sweat, darling. So I'm gonna put my time in. I won't stop until the angels sing. Jump in that water, be free. Come south of the border with me. Jump in that water, be free. Come south of the border with me.
And the last thing I wanted to say though, it is... Oh, I'm really distracted with Ilke in the background. The last thing I wanted to say, it is quite expensive. Nou, dan kan ik het echt niet opnemen hoor. Jullie zo iets een...